Hey guys, Amy here with your ever so late October swag. Again, thank you guys for all of your patience, and we are finally getting it together. So here is your October swag. It is Pinktober themed, so in this video I'm going to show you some other more festive designs that you can do with these colors, since probably by the time you get it, it's going to be November. So let's get into what's in your swag bag this month. We've got the new Pinktober glitter bomb, which, although it's themed Pinktober, this is a really great icy pink, so there's some really cool things you can do with it, and it's just such a beautiful color year round, so I know you'll get a lot of use out of this. You've also got your white gel art liner, which you will definitely use this throughout the holidays, and then a shade from our new Frenchie collection, which unfortunately is the one thing that did not make it in time, and I just made a corporate decision to just send swag out with one of our most popular colors, either Peachin or the Undercover Agent or the Captivating Kitten. These are all great French colors. The Frenchie collection has been moved to November 1st since the products got damaged because they were held so long from the hurricane, and just to be able to get that replacement in would have put this swag back another 4 weeks, and I just didn't think that was a good idea. So we sent it with one of our popular French colors, but when this collection does come out, which we are anticipating December 1st, I'm going to send you guys all a coupon. Actually, I'm going to give you a coupon code at the end of this video so that you can pick up a free color when they come out. There's 4 colors to choose from, and you guys can just go on the website and choose whichever one you want. Okay, so let's get into some designs that I created just to give you guys a little bit more choices and maybe some tips on doing some design work so that they're a little bit more festive and not so Pinktober themed. So first, let's look at this beautiful, beautiful pink. Like I said, it's an icy pink. It's going to go great for the holidays. You can paint with it, or you can do the whole entire nail. It is a one cover. You don't need 2 coats. If you want to put 2 coats on, you can, but it covers really, really well. And it is a 60-second cure, just like the rest of the glitter bombs. Okay, so I'm just prepping, and I'm going to paint just maybe 4 or 5 nails with the glitter bomb. I'm going to fully cure them for the 60 seconds, and then we can get into some artwork. Okay, so we'll do some peppermint stripes first. This is a design I used to struggle with, and I've kind of found an easier way to create this nail. I was going to save this one for next month because it's, you know, with the red and the green, it's very festive, but I thought this would be a nice little tutorial for you guys this month. So I started with just pouring a little bit of the white gel art liner onto my palette, just because when I'm painting really, really thin lines with the liner brushes, I want to kind of roll it to get it to a nice point. So this way I can kind of roll it on the palette to make sure my lines are nice and fine. For the first layer of this design, I'm going to go really, really thin, nice, clean, fine lines, and I'm going in an S pattern, and I'm keeping my lines in that same S pattern and just crossing them over. Obviously, where you cross them over is going to be where the center of your candy cane or your candy stripe is. Okay, so I did freeze the camera here so that you could see the direction of the S's and how they're all crossing over, and once they cross over, they bend the other way. So that's super important to get that clean candy swirl look. And when you're happy with this, you're going to want to go ahead and cure. Okay, so now this is out of the light, and I'm going to take that liner brush again and just kind of drag it, get it to a nice point, and I'm going to widen up the edges of each of the swirls, and again, keeping in that same curvature, wider as they go out. So I did cure this first so that that center of the candy swirl does not start to get flooded and start to move on me, so that my base is cured and it's just not going anywhere. So we're going to do this to each edge, and as it gets closer to the center, we're going to really thin it out and try to keep any more product out of the center, because like I said, once it gets all tight inside that center, it's going to start running a little bit and it might widen up and not give you as clean as a candy swirl as you want. And again, once you're happy with that, we're going to go ahead and cure. And I wouldn't really flash cure these. Maybe 40 seconds would be okay, but I wouldn't go like 10-15 seconds because it's white gel. You don't want to have any problems with curing, so give it that full cure. Okay, next we are going in again nice and thin with that liner brush, and we are just creating very thin lines, and you can follow this all the way through, following that same curvature of your original swirl. And once again, when you're happy with that, go ahead and cure. And nice, easy peppermint swirl. You would go ahead and top coat this at the very end. I did not top coat yet. But also, if you wanted to, you could sugar that, and that would look really cool too. Okay, for our next one, we're going to do a snowflake. I am going to use a couple dotting tools, and we're going to start with a dot right in the center. And these snowflakes look cool because they look really detailed, but they're super, super easy. So start with that dot in the center, and then we're going to use that striper brush to pull that dot out in all directions. Okay, from here, I'm just taking a medium-sized daughter, and I am just placing it at the ends of all the lines that I created, pulling away from the center. I'm keeping that X in the center a little bit shorter, and the cross shape, we are keeping that one a little bit longer. And from here, we are just pulling out with the liner brush so that the ends of these will have a nice tiny little point to them. And now I'm taking even a smaller daughter and putting little tiny dots in between. And then again, starting in the center and pulling out to give these tiny dots also a little point to them. I am not curing anything in between because I want these this design to, you know, kind of pull a little bit to give that nice point on the end of the dots. So if you're curing in between, you're really not going to get that look. And now when we're finished, we will cure. And there you've got a nice detailed snowflake. Okay, for our next snowflake, we're just putting that large dot right in the center, and we're going to make small dots around this. And then we're going to add, almost looks like little Mickey ears to those smaller dots. Then last, pulling it all together so it connects, and from here we're going to cure. Okay, so now that's out of the light, and we're just now taking the pink glitter bomb and placing the dots inside the white just to give it a two-tone look, and then one large dot right in the center. Another easy, quick snowflake for you. These are just a couple snowy trees, and again, so, so simple. I'm just going to use a dotting tool to create the tree. and then we're going to add the star and some stars in the sky. Once you've got the tree down, I'm going to take my liner brush here and just kind of pull up to give it a little top. I'm going to do that to both sides, and then we'll add a star to the top. Okay, so now that's curing, and we're going to do our last design. We're going to do a reindeer head. And sometimes when I look at a simple design like that, I try to break it down into shapes so that I can get the proportions correct. I'm going to start just by putting a dot in the center of the nail, just because sometimes I have a hard time staying in the center and my design is always off kilter a little bit. So I'm going to start with an X shape. But this side I'm going to shorten. So really that first line is going to go all the way out. That second line is not. And then we're going to go with a little smiley face over the center. So you have a design that looks like this. From here, that little smiley face, those are your ears. So go ahead and widen out those a little bit. Give it kind of like a petal shape. So where that first line from the X came out, that is the bridge of its nose. I am going to take my dotting tool and just put a dollop of product right kind of where the head would be, just so A, I have enough product on there and I don't have to keep picking it up, and B, it gives me another guide to stay in the center of the nail. So from here, I'm just kind of giving it the kind of the silhouette of the nose, and pulling the body down a little bit. I like to give it a little bit like of a swirl at the end just to give it a little bit more design, but that's kind of the neck and into the chest. And then we're just going to pull up from the top of that X and make our antlers. And again, once you're happy with that, you go ahead and cure. Sometimes too, I'll use my palette, which is this is just the disposable palette. So these just tear away and you can throw them away. But if I'm unsure of the design or I want to practice a little bit, I'll do it right on my palette. So again, just that X, that tip is going to be the nose. Cross it over, shorten that one side because you don't want that to pull out too far. And then you're going to do that smiley face right across. Those again are your ears. We're just opening them up a little bit, kind of like a leaf pattern or shape. And go right up to the top of that X. From here, we're going to follow that bottom and we're going to bring out the bridge of the nose, widen it up for the head, placing that dot there with a lot of product so I can move the product around, and also my guide to stay in the center of the nail. Again, extending the bridge of the nose a little bit and then pulling the body down into either a V or a little bit of a swirl at the bottom. And then last, pulling those antlers up. So hopefully this simplifies this design for you a little bit, and it just looks really cool done in glitter. And the glitter bomb just is so easy to paint with. So I almost ended this video and didn't even show you what was on the front of the swag card. So I just used Undercover Agent. I've already got these polished and cured. I did not wipe off any tacky layer or anything like that. And we'll go right into the design that I created for the swag card. Okay, so for this first nail, I'm just simply taking the white liner. I do have a lot of product on there because I want to cover the whole tip, so I just wanted to pick up a lot of product on the brush. and we're just going to kind of create like a swirly French smile line kind of. And this is basically just on one side of the nail. So go ahead and smooth that out, and then we are going to cure. Okay, so now that's out of the light, and make sure, because we put a lot of polish on there, make sure that you cured that for the full 60 seconds. And now we're doing the same thing with the glitter bomb, and we are just creating that kind of a swirly on the other side. No rhyme or reason to it, really, it's just preference. And then we're going to go back in and cure. So that's a really simple, easy design. You can top coat this with matte or shine, either way is completely fine. And then basically we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to make sure that I have a nice wide curve in there so that when I paint my ribbon, I have plenty of room. And also make sure you're curing this white before we paint our ribbon. Just using a small art brush, I try to match the top of the ribbon with that white curve, and we're just going to widen up the edges, and we're going to give that a cure, and then of course top coating. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you picked up some techniques for painting. Also, I hope you love this new Icy Pink Glitter Bomb. So I mentioned I was going to give you a free code or a code for a bottle of one of the new Frenchy colors that's going to come out next month. So your code is free Frenchy. So I will be sure to send you guys a reminder when that collection launches so nobody forgets to get their freebie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Next month we are back on track, so November swag will be to you guys in about a week. So I will see y'all next week. Bye.